This is Max from Lynrd, and you're listening to Live Metal Puppets. Hell yeah.
Oh, baby, I love you.
I'm gonna put some butter on your ass and you're in trouble, boy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
On today's show, we have a planet full of beautiful women with giant vaginas. A rat update. Live Metal Puppets has a brand new phone number. I Prank YouTube. And the heavy metal band, White Light Cemetery. That and much more on this week's Live Metal Puppets.
Make me laugh. Say something funny. Dance, boy.
Yeah, it is starting to look like a piece of broccoli.
You tiny penis bastard.
Test 1, 2, test.
Wah, 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 wah.
That would be my luck. Like, I would go to a planet that's all women.
And you are like their version of Hasselhoff.
No, you know what it would be? They all be super freaking hot, but they all have really big vaginas. And they would be like, you're not putting that thing in me. What is that going to do?
Where's the rest of it?
Yeah. They have like vaginas that like you could like hide, you know, like if it rains, you could stand under there. And they're really tall and beautiful, long hair, amazing, 3 breasts, except for this giant vagina that
rendered totally useless.
I couldn't change their mood by poking them with this. And it would be poking.
You have to practice the 2 A's.
What?
Abstinence or anal.
Yeah, that's true.
How you doing? This is Pat Harrington from Geezer, and you're listening to Live Nude Puppets.
Hey, we got a new phone number, and if you call and leave a message, we're going to play it on the air. If you want to get a hold of us at Live Metal Puppets, the phone number is 1-747-477-LIVE. That's 1-747-477-5483. Give us a call, leave a message. Okay, I'm kind of confused. I saw a video that was just posted, so I'm assuming this video was posted after Rat finalized everything in court. I'm under the understanding that, now you know that Bobby Blotzer's been out touring without Warren DeMartini. Together they both own 50% of the name Rat.
Right, yeah, they made half of it.
Warren DeMartini, by far one of the greatest guitarists in the last 50 years. Definitely, in my opinion, in the top 5. Very talented, you know, I think. You may not agree with that.
No, I mean, I appreciate it, but no.
Okay, well,
but, I mean, but for the sake of conversation, he is very talented, and
but the audience should know you grew up like Metallica was your lightest. If you don't have Stephen Pearcy or Robin Crosby, nobody has, because he tragically died of AIDS. Warren DeMartini, and really Robin was he was a rhythm guitarist. He got, all the solos he got were just to kind of even it out, and he was really the number one. He was the first guy in Rat. He owned that name. And then, when he died, Bobby and Warren were the only 2 from the original lineup. So anyway, the video I saw that was posted afterwards, not necessarily that it took place afterwards, but what I heard Bobby Blotzer say, and he had a nice excuse, was that nobody's going on tour with the name Rat unless I'm there. And it sounds like he wants to be there.
So kiss and make up.
Right. I mean, you guys are 53, 57 years old. Dudes, we're not going to, your fans are in their, early to mid 40s.
Right.
We're not buying tickets forever. And some of us are starting to like classical music, not me being one of them.
So many people are calling that classical music.
People do call that classical music. Yeah, that's true. That's funny. That's true. So I don't know what's going to go down, but I think that 100% of the fans would say, you know what? If David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen can play together, you guys can play together. You guys will make a shitload more money if you're all together. It doesn't matter what part of the combination is gone. Bobby Blotzer was my favorite Rat member after Robin died. And I was really pissed at Robin finding out that he was a junkie. Like, personally, like I said, that wasn't cool, and I'm not, that's weak. That was my interpretation at the time. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Like I said, I mean, there are certain components within a band that you can interchange. Typically, guitarist and singer, not one of them.
Yeah, drummer you can get away with.
Bass player, depending on what you're playing and the style of music that you're playing, you can probably get away with changing a bass player here and there. But a lot of the stuff is too intricate and technical that you couldn't get away with. It's not like a garage band where it's like, well, Dave couldn't make it. Hey, Steve, you want to sit in? That's not happening.
And you know what? Bobby Blotzer says the band, that the lineup he has right now plays it dead on to the record, and it sounds just like the record, which I'm not sure really matters, because what's the difference?
If I wanted to hear the record, I'd listen to the record. I want to hear the live version of shit.
Yeah, but what's the difference if Bobby Blotzer's there or not? He's the guy behind the drum kit. I like Bobby Blotzer, but I ain't going to pay any more money to see him than I'm going to pay to see a Rat cover band.
Remember the first time we saw Motley Crue?
Yeah.
They opened with, they played with Scorpions?
Yeah.
Golden Walk serving up cat. Oops, not supposed to say that.
Hey, did you guys get any more of that Kathmandu?
Kathmandu! Let me check. Kathmandu!
Got first order.
Kathmandu!
Oh, that was, well, the first bad idea was Rob and I wrote the ad while under the influence. Shh. So
my mom's listening.
So it started out, drummer wanted fatties, blacks, gays, and midgets are okay, but no Irish. That was our ad. It stayed up for about 10 minutes before some Irish guy got pissed.
No, it was an Irish chick who was
Yeah.
And then we changed it, right? No, the first one was
right. And then Rob rewrote the email under the same influence. And it read, fatties, blacks, Irish okay, but please no gays.
But no lesbians.
Or no lesbians, yeah. And, she wasn't having it. But then we actually put a legitimate ad and we took all the stupid stuff out because,
But we said we
at
wanted
some
a
point
midget.
we had to be sober. So
we wanted a midget.
Yeah. And we wanted a midget, so we put it.
We got a midget.
Yeah, we put an ad in and said, made sure that it was clear that midgets were okay, and we got a midget. And he was great.
He was a dwarf, and he was the coolest dude I ever met.
He carried a milk crate with him.
Yeah.
So that he could get up into the bus and get around.
He was like 3 feet, dude.
Yeah,
but
he
his
was
dad was the guy on the Phil Collins album.
Yeah.
And a few album covers. His dad was on a few album covers.
Yeah. I don't think
At
he made a
least
living at it, but he was.
He was a male model.
But
and he looked just like his dad. But he was such a kick-ass drummer. But he was so thrown off by what we were doing because we were musicians, but we were doing comedy. So, and if you put Circus of Legends into YouTube, you're going to see some crazy stuff with a lot of hits, man. I mean, I had this whole, what was that show, that Celebrity Rehab hoax going that like 60,000 people fell for. I mean, that thing was hot. And it was a hair short of viral, but it's funny. And it's me.
All right, last letter, Prophet. Dear Warden, sissy bitch, stink bag, squirt sailor. Your wife is hot. Every time she comes to visit the prison, I show her my Jolly Roger. And she smiles and waves. Please tell your wife that I want to French kiss her ass. And I want her to dig her nails in my back. I'm gonna claim every square inch of her lily white ass. I was wondering, is she shaving clean or is she rocking the 70s down like I'm guessing? Let her know it's my birthday and I have a conjugal visit coming up. What size shoe does she wear? I bet it tastes like candy. Let her know I memorized the entire novel 50 Shades of Grey. Thanks in advance, you monkey tit. Thanks in advance, you monkey tit jockey. Oh. Well, that's easy. Everybody knows a warden don't sleep with his wife. It sounds like things are going to work out fine for everybody.
That was Waiting from White Light Cemetery with Shea Bearden on vocals and guitar, Thomas Colley on drums, Tara Miller on bass, and Ryan Robin with guitars. And with us today is Thomas. How are we doing today?
I'm good, man. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us on Live Metal Puppets. You guys just released your newest album in January, is that correct?
Yes, January the 13th.
Cool. This thing's strong, man. I really like it. It was really kind of hard to pick a song that we wanted to feature. You've got so many that are really just good. I mean, they're. What's your favorite song off this album?
Oh man, I would have to say undoubtedly my favorite song is Sky River.
That was one of our choices as well.
Yeah, I really enjoy that song. It's just pretty straightforward, in your face rock and roll. I mean, I really enjoy that one a lot.
Well, it looks like you guys have been playing together through various assemblies since about 2008. Is that right?
Yeah, late 2008 is whenever the original core members had kind of gotten together and started writing a few songs, and I think the band really took shape early that next year. Early 2009 is when the band really took off.
How'd you guys all meet?
Well, I mean, I can't really speak for the rest of the guys. I wasn't one of the original members. I ended up joining after I had not played music for several years due to family obligations, and upon turning 30, I kind of sort of I got a little depressed when I turned 30 and started looking to get back into music to kind of take my mind off that. And had put an ad in the Craigslist, and a friend of the band got in touch with me and said he knew some guys that were going to be looking for a drummer, and that's how I ended up in the band.
You've had a few years to kind of culminate your style and everything, but was there a specific group that ignited this and said, put you on the path of music?
Oh man, me personally, honestly, I couldn't tell you what put me on the path of music. I always kind of wondered that. I wanted to be a drummer before I even wanted to play music. Like, I know that sounds weird. But I wanted drums before, the music came because of the drums. I had drums, so now I needed something to do with them. So, yeah, I wanted to be a drummer before I really wanted to play music with them. So, I mean, I probably backwards from most people, but that's the way it worked for me.
It sounds like you know the answer to the chicken and the egg thing then, huh? You kind of had it all figured out before it even needed to be figured out.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. Well, you just released your most recent album, Careful What You Wish For. Well, let's talk about Waiting. What did you guys have involved when it came to writing this?
Man, the songwriting process. It's kind of usually Ryan writes most of our stuff, and when he comes to practice, for the most part, the riffs are written. He has the ideas. So as far as from where his inspiration comes from, I couldn't really answer that. But I mean, we musically, all of our inspirations are pretty diverse. So I mean, he has his inspirations. He writes from that, and then he comes to the table, brings it to the table at practice, and then we put it together into a song, and kind of all put our 2 cents in from where our influences come from. You can kind of tell by listening to the songs how diverse those influences are. It comes from all over the place. It's really a huge mix for us. It's pretty diverse. We're not a one-trick pony kind of band. You know what I mean?
No, it really is, and each song has its own story. One of the songs we could only feature one, but Bullet to Erase. What really got me was your use of the cowbell in that thing. It was cool to hear because you don't hear a lot of bands using it that way, but you use it as a part of the rhythm itself. It's cool.
Yeah, I try to keep things fresh, and that was the thing. There's only so many ways you can play hi-hats or a ride cymbal, and I try to keep it fresh. I used it a little bit on our last album too. There was a song on our last album that I used the cowbell in the same fashion, playing, keeping time on the cowbell during the verses. So it was just, I try to keep it fresh, do a little something different, as much as I can.
Well, I like how it works. What's your favorite song to play live?
My favorite to play live is probably Rain Song from our last album. We always get a really good crowd response. It's a slower song. It's a long, slow song. It's about 8-minute long song. And
wow.
We always get a really good crowd response. It's kind of an epic song, That's probably my favorite one to play, just because the crowd reaction, and most of our crowds know quite a bit of the lyrics to that one too. So we always get a good bit of crowd participation. But it's always fun.
I know we talked briefly that you guys were kind of setting a path towards Texas.
Right. Yeah, we have a few shows coming up in March in Texas, actually, Austin. We're doing a South by Southwest show.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd love to see you guys live. Where can we buy your shirts and CDs?
The CDs, our current album, the CDs are available through our label, Ripple Music. They have a big cartel store. You can buy the album on vinyl, digital, or CD, also on Bandcamp, the Ripple Music Bandcamp page. As far as our prior releases, those are available on Bandcamp as well, iTunes. Our physical copies, CDs, are available from the band. T-shirts as well, those are available from the band. If somebody were to contact on our Facebook page, we ship stuff out all the time.
Well, cool. You guys, in your long travels, you got anybody you want to thank while you're, anyone you'd like to thank in your travels?
Oh, man, there's too many people to thank. So many people have been so good to us, probably more so than we deserve. Thanks to all of them.
Right on. Well, with all that said, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know it's been great hanging with you.
Yeah, man, hopefully trying to get to Dallas in April. Got our fingers crossed on that. It's been a while since we've been there. We got quite a few friends in Dallas.
Hey.
Please.
I forgot to tell you, when we were at Comic-Con, this is a true story. Rob left the table.
Is this about the blowjob thing in the bathroom and the cop that caught us?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't going to mention that, but you can tell that story next.
Oopsie daisies.
Thank God they were in a chipmunk costume, because I just don't want to know if it was a boy or a girl.
Yeah, you found out. Stop lying.
Hello, furry friend.
So this guy comes up to the table, and I got him to sign up with iTunes.
Cheeks are full.
And he says to me, "Hey, I can give you a story for a cartoon. It's a true story. It really happened to me, but you can actually use it for a cartoon if you want to." And I was like, "Oh, great! This is going to be great." Here's the story.
Sign this
the guy's dating a girl. She invites him to go with her to her aunt's house, who is a very old woman who's a lesbian, and she has a very old woman that lives with her. That they're technically married as lesbians. So they get there, they have some coffee cake or whatever, and they say, we haven't had a man around for a long time, and our dog died a couple of months ago, and we had to put him in the freezer because we haven't been able to dig a hole because we can't dig a hole. Could you dig a hole for us to bury the dog? And he said,
At some point, a woman needs a man. At some point,
so they get the dog out. He sees how big it is. He's looking at how
thought that you were going in a different direction with the dog dying and that they needed him for a different reason. I don't know why.
So he measures up the dog. He sees how big it is. He goes outside. He digs the hole. He digs it down. They ask him to dig it down like 3 feet, so that it's down. So he digs the hole down. The old woman comes out with the younger girl, and they walk up to the hole, and she goes, "Could you make it a little deeper?" And he says, "Yes." And she goes, I also have a couple cats in the freezer that I want to throw in with him.
Wow.
So they bring the dog out, and they proceed to bring out 12 cats that are frozen and dead in the freezer.
That belong to the neighbors.
And he
They're all the missing cats in the neighbor.
Hey, they totally could. They totally sold us to the Golden Walk.
This is a movie. Yeah, you could. Yeah, they could have just went to the Chinese place. It would have been on the buffet.
This is number 57. Thank you very much.
So now let's take that twisted mess and turn it into a cartoon.
It's gonna be Catmandu on the buffet at the Wild Golden Eagle restaurant. Basically, what it comes down to is the Asian culture has had it together and correct all these years.
Well, they usually do. Except for that whole lead paint thing. They're not good at that.
And driving. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it from anybody. I'm not putting anybody down. White men can't jump. That's just the way it is. Shit happens. We all get our own little special things that we're good at. Math, squatting, and pooing correctly. The Asians have that down 5,000 years now.
5,000 years and counting, motherfucker.
And counting. Hopefully we won't be on their calendar.
Wait, let me redo that.
Anytime soon.
5,000 years and counting, round eye.
We coming for you, Brown Eyes! Yep. I saw it coming the whole time.
Send us some stuff.
And if for some strange reason you'd like to mail us something, we can be reached at Live Metal Puppets, P.O. Box 210366, Bedford, Texas 76095.
That was...
What?
You always say it twice.
For those of you that are hearing impaired, that was P.O. Box 210366, Bedford, Texas 76095. If you need to hear it a third time, just rewind the motherfucker, okay?
Rewind it. Hit the 15-second button back and pause it. But don't send dildos.
This is Mark with Freedom Hawk, and you're listening to Live Metal Puppets. Rock out with your hawk out.
Last week I did a prank unboxing video for Star Wars Nerds.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. You could skip, fast forward a little bit in the middle. I might edit before you even see.
This is actually terrifying for people to watch. If you watch him opening this thing with the knife, he must be using a butter knife. This thing is so dull.
Yeah.
I'm watching this and I'm fearing for him like he's going to lop off a finger or something.
Yeah, it does kind of it is a little like that. But the end of it is kick-ass. So if you like
it's a twist
videos,
nobody will see coming.
Yeah, and if you got a Star Wars friend over 18 or 21, this might be a good video to send them. It's the unboxing of the Darth Vader lightsaber from Rogue One. And just go to play along and play along with that.
Batches. I don't have to show you any stinking batches.